The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
This is why I tell people, man, drink water. Drink water every day. All right? For real. Road to April. Road to the Stanley Cup. It begins now. We just beat the Blues. We got 2 straight wins. And let's talk about it on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
They did it. They actually did it. Your Vancouver Canucks just won 2 games in a row. As Oliver Sholnick says in the comments, the parade is on, baby. I'm not sure about that, but I do know that you're here on another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name, Trevor Beggs. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Kyle Bowen. And Kyle, let's start with a fun question off the top. What was the last time the Canucks played a game this complete?
Damn, bro. I think I was 4 years old. Sucking on my mama's nip. Okay, 4 years last pretty old. Okay, maybe it's a FanDuel thing. Okay, you know what? Can we just get to another question? Look at this comment coming from Happy Jacks, okay? Which Kyle are we getting tonight, I wonder? Like I said, man, I haven't been a Hindu for a while. I haven't been Deepak Choprak for a while, okay? It's been what? 2 months. 2 months since we got back-to-back wins. That could happen to somebody, okay? Even me, an optimist like me. That being said, the Canucks, man, complete team effort to some extent. I think some people may look at the fact that we might have had like 4 or 5 shots in the last 25 minutes of the game and we let the Blues get into it, blah, blah, blah. But, man, at the end of the day, Trevor, a win's a win. And I have no problem in saying this, man. Maybe it was meant to be that the Blues came on towards the end of the game so we could cement the fact that for the immediate future, Kevin Lankinen is the number 1 goalie for this team. Like, you got to run. No, you got to run with Kevin Lankinen, and you got to run with Quinn Hughes, and you got to see if this team can dig themselves out of this hole and get back into a playoff spot with some comfort.
Man, oh man, and Kyle Bowen, man. Some people call you the darkest guy on the program, and you had it in the title right here. The Canucks beat the Blues, and Lankinen beats Demko, man. Unbelievable, but no, in all seriousness, like Kevin Lankinen is the starting netminder for this team right now, and Rick Tocchet did allude to it right before the road trip started here that we might be seeing more of Kevin Lankinen because Thatcher Demko right now, it's funny because Rick Tocchet about a week or so ago was saying like he wants to see a run in Demko. We saw a run in Demko. It did not go that well, but look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Every day is no. I do believe in Thatcher Demko to get back to the goalie, to being one of the best goalies in the world, but it's going to take time. When you miss the better part of 12 months not playing hockey, it is hardest to jump back into it in the middle of the season and just be at the top of your game, especially for a guy like Demko who didn't have the offseason, had none of that preparation. He's a guy, a lot of goalies are creatures of habit, creatures of routine. He needs that. He hasn't had it. But again, thank the Lord for Kevin Lankinen, man. I'm not sure about his offseason routine. This guy might have just been reading books and getting the book club going until the middle of September when he signed with the Vancouver Canucks. But, between Quinn Hughes and Kevin Lankinen, we've said it before, those guys have not only saved the Canucks season, but those are the top 2 reasons why the Canucks are likely to make the playoffs, in my opinion.
And what are the chances, Trevor? Both those guys read books. You know what I'm saying? How much times do I got to say it? How many times do I got to say it? You got to read books. Stop reading captions. Read some books. You know what I'm saying? Read those pages. Finish a story. Learn something. And Kevin Lankinen, man, learning a lot about himself, too. I don't even know if he knew that he was this good. And I want to throw this to you, Trevor, because I'm on this boat because I think today, again, I'm optimistic right now. Like, I think, the path to the playoffs is a little bit more clear right now, okay? Especially if you have a hot Lankinen. That being said, I'm not 100% convinced that you give this guy a 6-year deal worth like $36 million or, whatever Logan Thompson got or whatever Scott, what's the guy's name? Wedgwood, Blackwood, whatever the guy that Colorado got, okay? I'm not convinced that you give him that deal until the end of the year because I feel like there's no way that Kevin Lankinen gets paid more than that amount, right? That $5 million amount, that $6 million amount. So you might as well just wait it out and let this guy, carry the load, put some pressure on himself, play with that UFA energy. Am I correct? Because there's no rush to sign him.
There's no rush to sign him, but if he keeps playing like this, the price is only going
You
up.
think
So
so? You can't go up.
I do think so. Look at around the league. Look how weird goaltending is. Look how many teams on a regular basis have just like shoddy, weird goaltending from the guys that got in store. And you might see this in the playoffs too. Like if a team, loses in the playoffs because of their goaltending, they might be even more desperate to pay a guy like Kevin Lankinen the big bucks. And July 1st is often a time where general managers do dumb things. And I'm not going to say Kevin Lankinen is the next Jack Campbell, but Jack Campbell was a guy signed on July 1st. Like Kevin Lankinen might be getting the bag on July 1st. So I do truly believe that if you think Kevin Lankinen is going to be a long-term or mid-term solution, let's call it, for this team moving forward, and he's willing to sign something sub $4 million, I think you try to get it done sooner rather than later. But if that's not the case, and I would agree with you, wait it out. But it completely depends what the demands are from Kevin Lankinen's camp right now.
I don't think there's no way this guy's signing for like 4.25 or $4 million. I know he doesn't have a large sample size, but the fancy stat metrics for years and years and years have actually loved Kevin Lankinen, and now he's got this I don't know, like this 45 to 50 game. He's on pace for that many starts this year, and if he's able to will the Vancouver Canucks to the playoffs, I mean, he's gonna put himself in that Logan Thompson, or again, is it Wedgwood or Blackwood, the Colorado goalie? You know what I'm saying?
Blackwood.
Blackwood. Okay, so again, if I'm Alvina Rutherford, the playoffs are so important this season that I'm not awarding anyone on this team until we check one of the to-do list things off the list, and that's make the playoffs. I feel as if we're not in a rush. That being said, I'm just super impressed with that guy's poise and that guy's skill set. Because Trevor, man, I know for the most part the Canucks were quote unquote the better team, but man, oh man, I still counted about 6 to 7 really good saves from Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah, and the St. Louis Blues, again, they're not a bottom feeding hockey team. We talked about this being a must-win game for the Vancouver Canucks. If that was the case, it was even more of a must-win game for the St. Louis Blues, who were further back than the Canucks in this turtle race here for the wild card spot in the Western Conference. And the Canucks, again, in a must-win game for both teams. The Canucks were the team that came out firing. The Canucks were the team that had a 3-0 lead, an 18-8 shot advantage at the midway point of the game. And again, a lot of it is coming from Quinn Hughes, sparking things offensively, doing what he does best. But the Canucks took it to the Blues in the first part of this game. And, JT Miller alluded to a post game when he was talking to Andy Petrillo of Amazon Prime there. And alluded to the fact that just for whatever reason, this team hasn't been able to string wins together. So, I think there was some really good things the Canucks did tonight. Again, jumping out early. They've done that a couple times now. Not as often as you like to see, but they've been doing it a little bit more. A big thing for me tonight, Kyle, was the fact that the Canucks generated offense off the rush. Look at the first goal. Look at the third goal. Look at the fourth goal, right? Connor Garland and Quinn Hughes on the 2-on-1. JT Miller with the stretch pass from Quinn Hughes. And, of course, Pius Suter breaks out the other way shorthanded. I mean, the Canucks have been one of the worst rush teams in the NHL, if not the worst rush team, both in terms of what they generate and in terms of what they give up and their goaltending off the rush. It's just been, the rush has killed us, man. I don't know. Maybe these guys like to take it low and slow in the bedroom, but man, man, the rush has killed the Canucks this season at both ends of the ice. And for once in this game, it was nice to see them break out with a few rush goals.
It was, man. It felt as if after the first 5 minutes of this game, I guess after the Garland goal, this team kind of smelt a little bit of blood, and it was nice. It was nice. And then you kind of look at this team, they're like, okay, when they spread things out and they got Pettersson on the third or fourth line, we'll get into Pettersson later, but you kind of see the depth. And if within the game, the tone is set for, again, them to attack, that balanced lineup of having Suter on a separate line with Garland or DeBrusk, or again, Miller and Besser played really good today. Nathan Heinen, that was probably his best game of the season for real. And again, the whole Pettersson thing, and let's not front too, the whole Sasson, Bluger, PDG line have been a heavy line for a couple of games now. You know what? While we talk about all these players, we might as well get into it. Okay, 5 minutes for report cards. Okay, we got to do this game by game, player by player. Okay, we're doing the post-game show, so we got to go through it individually, okay? I want to dive deep into these games and not just be so emotional all the time. So I think an easy way to do that in a team sport is by, going over some of the individual talent that did their thing today. We got 5 minutes to do this. Trevor Beggs, why don't you take the first five, and I'll do the first five, the next five after that.
We're gonna start from the bottom up today because I'm a bottoms guy. I'm a big fan of the bottoms.
Oh, you
Kevin
like
Lang.
to be on the bottom. You like to be on the bottom, huh?
Whoa, wait. Well, sometimes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Lankinen, I'm giving him an A in this game. Yeah, not much you could do on either of the goals. Power play snapshot, one like bounces off DPD. I'm giving him an A. Linus Karlsson, I'm giving him a C, even though I didn't really see him out there. In all fairness, he was again Karlsson fine out there. I don't know if I really stands out one way or the other.
I'd give Linus Karlsson a B-. I thought he was like heavy today. He played a bit wide. He played a bit big, but like I've also already had enough of him too. Like I've already said this about Linus Karlsson. He's like a poor man's Neil Zaman, or like just a Neil Zaman, right? Like he does his thing, and I hope Lecker Mackey's not out for a long time. I know he just injured his face a couple days ago, but like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been making a lot of excuses for Pettersson, but Pettersson's playing with wingers who have 2 goals combined, and like what's going to happen again. Like this is the thing. Pettersson's turning into a third liner as we see it. And anyways, he's turning into Philip Deneau. Keep going, Trevor.
We'll get into Elias Pettersson a little bit more when we get into the grades there, but to keep working my way up, Jake DeBrusk, I'll give him a C+. Again, really? He played a role on the first goal of the game, but he just seems a step behind right now. Max Hassan, I'll give him a B-. I like Max Hassan's game, liked his motor. I do think he gets burned in his own end a little bit. I just gets caught puck watching sometimes. Tyler Myers, man, the great return of the chaos giraffe himself, playing the big minutes, getting the compliments left, right, and center on the Amazon Prime broadcast. Let's give Tyler Myers a B+ in this one.
B+, bro. That's Tyler Myers deserves an A-. And Trevor, like you can stick on him just a bit, but I'm not gonna say we were right, but we were kind of right. Like this team moving forward needs to put Tyler Myers and Quinn Hughes together. It's like he seems more relaxed out there. Albeit he did try doing a lot today, but for the most part, it did all work out. Like that play he made to Suter on the penalty kill that led to a goal was really good, and his stick was active. He took 1 penalty, but all in all, like Tyler Myers, that was like I would argue that was like a top 5 Tyler Myers Vancouver Canucks game. And again, Quinn Hughes has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, he was good tonight. No complaints about Tyler Myers. Teddy Bluger, I'll give him a B tonight. Fine on the penalty kill.
Oh, dude. Okay, I really thought Sasson, Bluger, and Di Giuseppe, to me, like B+ minimum for all those guys. Like I have a different standard for them, but they played heavy the whole way through. Okay, let me take some of these names. Quinn Hughes. I don't know what else to say about this guy. A+. Maybe not the most perfect game defensively, but I also felt like 95% of the time he was effective defensively. Okay, this guy's an unbelievable talent. Okay, Elias Pettersson, the centerman, the third line centerman, got the spotlight on Amazon Prime, making all these nice Philip Deneau-like plays. And congratulations, but I know he picked up an assist in front of the net doing his thing, but like I want the standard to be higher, so I'm just gonna give him a B. Okay, that it's just that simple. PDG already said it, a B+. Derek Forbert, I'm gonna say a B-. I'm kind of tired of this guy taking point shots because they never go through, but penalty kill wise, he did his thing. DPD, man, going into the third period, I'm giving this guy a B+ considering, it is his second game, but that third period was a big time struggle for DPD. I'm going to end things off with a C+ with him. And then Pius Suter, first goal in 23 games. I think Brandon Batchelor tweeted it out earlier, a list of players that just haven't scored in forever. And I think he saved the season with this tweet. And Pius Suter looked really good on the PK points, and I'm giving him a B+.
There you go. And Nils Höglander again with the Karlsson PD line there. Höglander's motor's going right now, but that line wasn't incredible tonight, but they weren't bad. They were part of the success. So I'll give Höglander a B-. Danton Heinen, I'll give him a C+.
Whoa.
Again, high floor right now. Philip Hronek, I will say you're not a fan of Derek Forbort's point shots, but it is a low-key storyline right now that Derek Forbort has surpassed Carson Soucy on the depth chart, and it was that pair of Forbort and Hronek tonight that we saw mostly out there. And again, Forbort has played better than Carson Soucy.
Wow, I can't believe you said that, but I'm agreeing with it.
Yeah, Philip Hronek, he's getting better with each game out there. Again, he's better than most of the Canucks defensemen. I give him a B for his performance tonight. And then JT Miller, man, oh man, JT Miller's getting into A category for me tonight, man. A-, scores the goal, set up on the power play. He in the fights, he's in the post game with the bruise and the cut on his face. I saw in the comments. I'll try to find it later on, but JT Miller, for those who think he doesn't care, the way he played tonight, the way he looked in the post game, bloodied and bruised, scoring big goals for this team, gets the game winner tonight. JT Miller had a hell of a game for the Vancouver Canucks. A for him.
100%. And we'll get more into everything JT Miller in like 2 minutes after the break. I'll end things off here. Connor Garland, A+, just a terrific game from that guy all over the ice. I know we tried like 3 different times to get a hat trick, and they all led to like icings. And it would have been nice to see Taka take a timeout instead of like leaving his third line out there for like 3 minutes. But all in all, Connor Garland an A+, Carson Soucy C+, and Brock Besser, I would give him a B. Like honestly, I give him a B or a B+. I just liked how heavy that line looked. Like Trevor, don't you think that there was bits of last year in tonight's game, like just the heaviness? Okay, a little bit of effort. I liked it.
Yeah, this Canucks team, again, I'm curious to see them actually come back from some deficits from the run up from here to the playoffs. But right now, I mean, if they come out attacking, they get that lead, they are a hard team to come back against. And that was a staple of this Canucks team last season. They were so good in the first period. They didn't have to come from behind too much. And Kyle, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, in terms of last season, that's what the Canucks did. They overwhelmed teams early on in the game. They got a lead, and they were able to protect it because they do play a heavy style of hockey. Kyle, man, the hearts were heavy going into this one because this Canucks team has been letting us down, but I'm feeling a little bit better after this one. I'm going to feel even better after reading some comments. Let's do it after we cut to a quick break here on Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day and every night. We'll be back after shouting out our friends over at FanDuel. Man, oh man, if you bet on the Vancouver Canucks tonight, guess what? The Vancouver Canucks were underdogs against the mediocre St. Louis Blues on home ice. I mean, it's hard to blame FanDuel too much on that one because we've been watching this team play and it's not been pretty. But if you bet on the Canucks tonight, you would have won a few bucks. And if you're a new customer on FanDuel right now, you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets. So if you're feeling the Canucks are, I'm going to go on a bit of a heater here. I want to put some money on them. The Super Bowl is also coming up. Hey, maybe lawn bowling's your thing. Go find it all on FanDuel, okay? The app's so easy to use. Even I can use it, okay? That's saying something, okay? I don't even know how to use a phone. So make sure you go download this FanDuel app, go to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's on FanDuel.com, official partner of Super Bowl 59.
People, we back doing this, and that's giving you some Canucks dialogue after a game in St. Louis. The Vancouver Canucks pick up their second straight win, the first time they did that in 7,464 years. Unbelievable. That's something else, and that was such a must-win game. The Vancouver Canucks 1 point behind the Calgary Flames. I can't believe I'm saying that. Okay, Calgary with the game in hand, so you can, in theory, say they're 3 points up. But yeah, a must-win tonight, and they got the job done. You watching this on the YouTube side or listening to this on the podcast side, we appreciate you. If you can do us all a favor, hit the like button. It could do wonders. And you know what, Trevor? We did hit 40 likes on the last video. So tomorrow when I'm at the bigger studio, I'll do 40 push-ups with my eyes closed, okay? Because that's what I promised the people. And if this video gets 746 likes, I'll get one nipple piercing for both nipples. A little bar. A little bar. Okay, you ever see one of those ones?
Oh, damn.
It's 2025. Don't judge me, baby. I just do anything for the good voodoo. And right now I'm feeling good. I'm not going to front, Trevor. We made the playoff video earlier today. Okay, whatever our playoff chance is. Trevor said one website is giving us a 21% chance I'm making the playoffs. I don't know if anything changed for you in your heart today, but like, where's the optimism level at? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel good today, man.
The optimism level is creeping up, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not quite planning the parade yet. I know Oliver Sholnick. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to all listeners here on Locked On Canucks. That was a bit tongue in cheek, but the Canucks are in a position here to potentially go on a bit of a run. And let's just get into it, man. I'm gonna hit the button because I did see one comment that I did want to touch on. Let's go, man. Canucks question. Canucks questions, Canucks comments, and we got one here from Hoaxial Cable. Let's be real.
Whoa.
They need to go to 5, 6, 7 game run, like 6-0-3 in the past 10 at worst. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that being said, I do think the Canucks have the potential to do something right now. I mean, look at the schedule coming up. They got the Predators on Wednesday. They got the Dallas Stars on Friday. The Dallas Stars are a team that even when the Canucks are mediocre, they've had some success against in the past. Then you get the Detroit Red Wings on Sunday. And I mean, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but the Canucks, again, JT Miller said a post game, it's been so hard to win multiple games in a row. But the Canucks right now could turn their season around, or at least the narrative of their season heading into the Four Nations, if they can go on a bit of a run here. And if they play the way they did tonight, they're going to be in a good spot. I mean, look, the Predators, obviously, they beat us twice in a row. You can't let the Predators, the bottom-feeding Predators, beat you, sweep the season series 3-0 this season. I think the Canucks got to avoid that happening. And then you got, again, Dallas, Red Wings, Avalanche, the Canucks have beaten. Then you got the Sharks, and then you end it with the Maple Leafs, who the Canucks have also beat before you get the Four Nations break. So, Kyle, the Canucks do have an opportunity to, again, really turn their season around here if they go on a bit of a run. They don't have to go like 6-0-3. I do think they can get into the playoffs, like winning, kind of going like 6-3-1 or 5-4-1 over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 games. But again, going on a run would certainly help things. It would help the psyche of this market.
No, it definitely would, and more importantly, the psyche of this team. Like they kind of need that. They kind of need that. And let's say they do go 6-0-3. What will happen? And this comment is making me think a lot. This one comes from Carmen, and he's saying if the Canucks go on a decent streak, maybe they go 6-1-3 the next 10 games, and they hit the trade deadline, do they buy or sell? To me, there's no way this team turns into a buyer. There's no way.
Wow.
If you want this team to feel fresh and new, it's just because they get healthy. Honestly speaking, it's one of those years they took a step back and they could still make the playoffs, but last year they were looking really, really good and they mortgaged a lot of their future. So this year cannot be that year. I'm sorry, it just can't. You got to hold on to that first round pick. Heck, you got to hold on to a second round pick if they have theirs. Like I can't even do the math. I don't even know if they gave that up last year. But I just wouldn't do it. You just got to lean into like Quinn Hughes and Lankinen, and also this, Trevor. I'm gonna bring up Demko again, okay? Because Zarfi, shout out to I think this brother's Fijian. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. He's saying that we need Demko in the playoffs. Like, look, don't you think there's a small chance, okay, that an uber competitor in Thatcher Demko can't stand the fact that Kevin Lankinen may be stealing his starts and maybe even, in line to start game one of the playoffs? Like, that dude may need some internal competition, like real internal competition, to snap back into getting himself in the zone. Like, I know he's dealing with a lot, and the physical nature of things is, it's scientific. It's real. Like it's hard for this guy to gear up because of simple math and his late start and his late start to training and all that jazz. But I'm hoping that something mental, something spiritual, something in the likes of, again, Kevin Lankinen supplying that internal competition allows Demko to come back sooner than we think. Because like people are writing him off. Like his save percentage is what, 83%? That's like my social studies grade. You know what I'm saying? Like that's horrible. That really is. But like there's a chance. Like if he comes back into form, then you have Lankinen and Demko going back to back. Like it's X Factor-ish,
Yeah, no, well, a couple things there. I do think Demko is going to bounce back at some point. Probably March, April. It might not even be this season, to be honest with you. But I do believe that Demko is going to bounce back. I mean, I don't know how long he'll stay healthy for, but we are going to see a better version of Thatcher Demko than what we've been seeing right now. And I think Kevin Lankinen does provide that internal competition for the Vancouver Canucks. But in terms of the Canucks buying, Kyle, I got a bit of a different take than you. Let's get into it. You said there's no way the Canucks are buying. I'm not sure if I necessarily believe that. And Boom Scoom in the comments says, what about buying a top 4 defenseman? Look, I think I would agree with you. And we've seen in the past from Alvin and Rutherford that they like to reward teams for their hard work. Now, again, the question was, if the Canucks go on a run, will this management team buy? And I do think there's a chance they buy. I don't think they're going to sell the farm this year. Like, I don't think they're trading Willander or Lekkerimäki unless it's like a Rantanen type deal, right? Like it's got to be a massive deal for one of those guys because they're the only two blue chip prospects on this team. I don't think this team really wants to trade away their first round pick either. I do think it's something more in that like second round pick for a Mario Ferraro type of deal. But I truly do believe if you think this team is going to have a chance of competing for the Stanley Cup, it's got to be, obviously the Stars got to bounce back. We talked about it ad nauseum here, but you got Quinn Hughes leading the charge. You got good depth. If Kevin Lankinen and Thatcher Demko can both provide that goaltending, to me, the thing you need would be another just top four defenseman. And again, Carson Soucy has not been that guy this year. Derek Forbort surpassed him on the depth chart. He is not that guy to be playing top 4 minutes in the playoffs either. I think you got to find probably a left shot guy to play with Phil Pronik, or you got to find another right shot guy to play on your second pair. But Kyle, we said it about a week ago when we did that episode about left-hand defensemen. I do think that is probably the more likely scenario for the Vancouver Canucks. And shout out to Tyler Myers, man. He's the reason why that's happening.
Honestly, this sounds crazy right here, but you get Sherwood and Joshua back. I don't know what Lecker Mackey's injury, how his injuries are looking, and if he can come back sooner than later. But I truly do think that the Canucks, prior to the deadline, are going to give Lecker Mackey a stretch of games besides Miller or Pettersson. And if they're going to make a move for a defenseman, it's courtesy of Brock Besser. You know, like if a team like Colorado is trading Mikko Rantanen, and let's be honest, Colorado's ahead of us. Like, they've won Stanley Cups in the past. Their philosophy is like if they're making moves like that, then if you're not extending Brock Besser, you got to trade him at the deadline. And maybe use those pieces to get another defenseman, not just for this year, but next year. Honestly, like a Philip Pronik type of thing. Like it's just the way it is. Anyways, let's end off the show with the exit, one of my favorite segments, because hey, Canucks Twitter is just the place to be, or Canucks X is the place to be sometimes. It's chaotic. It's kind of like YouTube too. Like we're all over the place here too. We're emotional, and some of these tweets, man, or some of these X's, is that what we call it? Come on, Elon. Like, anyways, let's run it. The exit on Locked On Canucks. Okay, the first one that I'm reading goes to Riot Survivor. Okay, this guy's been an icon on Canucks Twitter for a very long time. I think he just wrote a book too, so go check it out on X and follow his links or whatnot. He's saying, I'm feeling very confident with Kevin Lankinen in goal on a scale of Dan Cloutier to Roberto Luongo. He's borderline Corey Schneider. Again, the sample size, it's not as if Corey Schneider had like 100-game sample size. It was more probably like 60, to be honest, or 75. But again, more often than not, Kevin Lankinen, he's just solid, man. He's more often than not the better goaltender amongst the two playing in that game. Like he's been so consistent, and again, just making highlight reel save after highlight reel save. He's becoming a fan favorite, Trevor.
Yeah, and deservedly so. And you know, one of my favorite stats in hockey, it would be quality start percentage among goaltenders. And Kevin Lankinen, he started 31 games this season. He's given the Canucks 20 quality starts. The league average is about 50% this season. It's historically been around 53. So Kevin Lankinen and 2 of every 3 starts has given the Canucks above average goaltending. And again, in a season where so much has gone wrong for the Canucks, he's been an absolute godsend. And Corey Schneider level, I'm not going to quite get there. Corey Schneider was such a good goalie, but he's like almost like rookie season Eddie Lack level. I mean, Eddie Lack was a pretty damn good goaltender when he first came to the Canucks too.
Look at this comment from Derek, man. He's better than Corey Schneider.
Oh, Schneider was pretty unbelievable here. I'm talking like a 925, 930 save percentage.
Dude, there is not a person in the world of any type of workplace that got more shafted than Corey Schneider. Okay, first of all, he battled injuries, and then he was a backup for Luongo and gets traded to a team that had Martin Brodeur. Like, what the hell is that, bro? That's like, I feel bad for Corey Schneider, man. That guy deserves way, way better. You know what? Maybe the future commissioner of the NHL for real. Okay, that's just a little bold take on my part. Okay. Second tweet goes out to this. Okay, the Garland goal, the second one, doesn't happen without Pettersson screening the goalie and boxing out the D-man to let Garland get the puck first. I'm pretty sure that Pettersson actually tipped the puck on the shot from Besser that actually led to this Garland goal too. So Pettersson picks up an assist. And I read this, and I like the little things. Don't get me wrong. And again, I saw what Amazon Prime did. They put together a little Philip Deneau mixtape from Elias Pettersson. Okay, doing everything in the defensive zone. And yeah, there was instances where this guy had chances to pick up assists. He fed Carlson from behind the net. He had that play in the slot where Garland fed it to him on the 3-on-2, and he just missed the net. All in all, though, yeah, it's cool to see this guy do the little things, but Trevor Beggs, if this team is going on this 6-0-3 run, and it's just going to be way easier, okay? Give Quinn Hughes a effing break. You know what I'm saying? And pick up some points. Pick up some, dude, we need more. I'm sorry. I know you got to insist today, but it sounds crazy for me, but like, we need to see that new level. Like, everyone is so thirsty for it. And until I see that consistently, like, all these little things are not going to get the job done for me, unless we really think this guy's Patrice Bergeron. But that only makes sense if the Canucks are winning a lot of games. And it's hard for me to think that the Canucks are going to go on a run unless this guy wakes up.
No, I agree, but I will say tonight did feel like a step in the right direction. I know low-key storyline that we didn't talk about is he only played 14-24 in this game. But Miller's only at 16-53. It was actually that Garland, Suter, DeBrusque line that got some heavier minutes, and Garland and Suter in particular led Canuck forward a nice time, but fairly even split tonight. But one thing I really did like about Pettersson tonight, I'm not going to say the defensive side of the game, Pettersson has not been shooting the puck enough. We've talked about it a lot. He had 7 shots tonight, which led the entire team, and a couple of those were good scoring chances. So, again, you want to see Pettersson shooting the puck more. He's put in the work at practice. Look, Pettersson is a Canuck right now, and we know he's got the potential to be great. I think we just got to, especially if the Canucks are winning, you'll be a little bit more patient with Pettersson if the Canucks are winning.
You know what? I got to be nicer. I got to be kinder. Again, Chris Faber tweeted it out too. Elias Pettersson had 7 shots on net. He did look a little bit more aggressive. You know what? But and maybe I gotta shut the F up and not like to just demand like a 3-point game here and there. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm not losing patience. I guess I kind of am, but it just, again, I want to see some. I want to see more. Okay, my standard for Pettersson is at $11.6 million. I'm sorry, people. It's not going to be like picking up 55 points in a season. I'm sorry. It's not going to be that. It'll never be that. Like, I need to see the next level. And, like Trevor said, we're warming up to it, okay? We got 2 more. This one comes from Buck Foston. He's saying the 30 for 30 episode on this year's Canucks is going to be wild. And people, we talked about this on the previous episode of Locked On Canucks. Go watch it, okay? How are the Canucks going to make the playoffs? And if they got Quinn Hughes going like this, you never know what's going to happen. And then Quinn Hughes leads this team to the playoffs and they play the Oilers in the first round. Who knows? You never know. Look at Florida a couple years ago. You never, ever, ever know. And yes, if the Canucks somehow win the Stanley Cup, I'm telling you, obviously for so many reasons, like, winning the first Stanley Cup in franchise history, the 30 for 30 documentary will be so cool. But just again, all the noise around this team. Like, think about this, Trevor. Yesterday, we're talking about trading Pettersson, and today we're like, you know what? We need to buy a top 4 defenseman. It's like, what the hell is wrong with us? I'm so happy, again, our significant others do not watch this show because, bro, we not manly, okay? We're not manly, okay? We're way too sensitive here.
Hey, I will say I did have the episode last week about the Canucks being a Cinderella team potentially. So, I'm drunk off the blue and green. I'm skeptical. I try to be realistic, but I am drunk off the blue and green, man. I ain't going to lie about that.
Okay, and then the last tweet goes to Nucks Around or Nuck Around, and he just they just tweeted out this chart via Amazon Prime about Quinn Hughes. So I'm gonna let Trevor take it away here because he's way smarter than me at these things. But I can already tell this is just like written with heart written all over it.
This is unbelievable. So at 5-on-5 this season with Quinn Hughes on the ice, the Canucks have a plus 14 goal differential, a plus 109 shot differential, and a plus 257 shot attempt differential, or Corsi, for you old school nerds out there. Without Quinn Hughes on the ice, the Canucks have a minus 18 goal differential, a minus 144 shot differential, and a minus 344 shot attempt differential. Man, oh man, this is starting to remind me of the 22-23 Canucks when I look at stuff like this. And it is a reason why I do believe the Canucks go on a bit of a run here, that they are going to buy and get another defenseman, because there's no way this team is going anywhere in the playoffs with the defense that they have right now, unless Quinn Hughes somehow can learn to play 45 minutes a night. Which, hey, you never know, man. You never know.
No, he's a tank, bro. Like, you want to talk about a guy that takes his off-season super seriously, and I keep referring our last episode, but man, we talked about like this being the biggest point. You practically don't even have to watch that episode because we just spoiled it on this one. But it's like Quinn Hughes learned so much from the playoff experience last year, more so than any player on the team. It's so obvious because that guy took what happened in the playoffs, took losing in round 2 of Game 7. He took that seriously. He didn't pat himself on the back. He went to work right away and read the right books. Real talk. And look how much better he got. And I want Quinn Hughes to even get more better. Matt is calling him Superman. I want this guy to level up, does Super Saiyan 7 Goku, like go crazy. And I think in order for him to get that, much like most athletes in general in North America or like in the West, you need to play playoff games. You need to play playoff games. Like, it's scary to say this, but if the Canucks don't make the playoffs, I don't know if Quinn Hughes gets better next year. Like, you need to play that level of hockey, and this team needs to do so. And again, 1 point behind Calgary. Calgary got a game in hand. Quinn Hughes just doing everything, man. Looking so lethal, looking so clean. And like Trevor's saying, oh, we don't know if this guy can play 35 to 45 minutes a game. I'm not saying he can, but you see what this guy can do a minute 40 into a shift when he has the puck on his stick. And that's, again, gain the zone, do his thing, supply a chance, create an offensive zone faceoff. He's just the greatest Canuck of all time. Anywho, my name's Kyle Bound, KYLEBHAWAN. I'll let Trevor sign it off if he wants to slurp Quinn Hughes some more. Hit the like button. Again, it really does help us out a lot. I'll be doing the 40 push-ups with my eyes closed tomorrow because you guys, led us to 40 likes yesterday on the previous episode. I'm sorry. And if this one gets 760 likes or 755 likes, I'll get a nipple piercing from one nipple to the other. Just one piercing, just a nice bar. And I don't know, it could be, it's 2025. Don't judge me. I just love the Canucks.
Hey, Kyle, maybe the Canucks, we get 420 likes on our next video. Maybe I'll pierce the other nipple and we'll chain our nipples up together, man. There you go.
Ooh,
That's what brothers do, man.
that.
Let's see JT Miller and Elias Pettersson pierce the nipples and say chain together.
Oh, I like that. That's like a protest, like a bonding protest. We watch every single game together with our nipples pierced, and it's like in solidarity to show JT Miller and Pettersson that, Quinn Hughes is my captain, and he would want us doing this.
Man, oh man, I'm glad my wife doesn't watch the show, but I'm glad you're watching the show. So shout out to you, whether you're an everyday or an occasion listener, a first-time listener, a new subscriber, or you join us on the live show on YouTube, wherever you're listening. Whenever you're listening, we appreciate the hell out of you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day, every night. If you like what we're doing, go subscribe and like it on YouTube. Help us afford those nipple piercings on the podcast side. Oh, baby, go follow us and leave a 5-star review. But for now, we got to get out of here. Go Canucks, go. They beat the Blues 5-2. And my advice to the Canucks, just do it again, baby. I'm Trevor Beggs, that guy's Kyle Bound, and you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.